to the public.
Tonight, a special presentation on Channel 19, girls softball action from the Babe Ruth State Tournament held last weekend at Noblesville, Morse Park and Beach specifically. It was hosted by the Noblesville Girls Softball Association, and joining me tonight to do the telecast, a member of that organization, one of the coaches from the tournament, Dave Robbins. Dave, nice to have you with us.
Thanks, Steve. It's good to be here.
We're picking it up right as action starts. The game that we're going to be seeing features Fairmount in the white and black against the Westfield team in the green jerseys. I guess that's appropriate for Westfield to be in green.
They always wear green.
Leading off for Westfield is Heather Burdett. Heather wears number 10. She will be playing first base, and we'll identify all the Westfield girls as we progress through the ball game. But Dave, as we start to watch the game, let's talk about the Noblesville Girls Softball Association for a minute.
Well, the Noblesville Girls Softball Association was formed 3 years ago and has grown each year since. We started out with only 3 teams. We expanded to 4 teams last year. This year we were able to field 7 teams. So we've had good growth.
Good growth, absolutely. And of course, softball is becoming a more popular sport throughout all of the Channel 19 viewing area. I know it is here in Noblesville, evident by your growth. Now the tournament here is, let's mention that Heather Burdett drew a walk, and Jennifer Wyatt, second baseman, she wears number 3, a little lefty up at the plate here. This is a 12 and under girls game that we're watching here.
That's correct.
Let's talk about the different age brackets that have been hosted here by Noblesville this weekend.
Well, we've had 3 age groups. We've had 15 and under, the older girls. We have a 12 and under tournament, which we're watching here, and then a 10 and under for the smaller girls.
So all sizes, and I think it's fair to say that at any of those levels, there's some outstanding talent on the field. Watching the games I've seen, boy, they're making plays all over the field.
Yeah, the quality of the play is good. We'll see some in this game tonight. I've been able to watch the Fairmount team play. They have one girl who throws the ball exceptionally hard. Real talent.
Now, speaking of Fairmount, of course, that would indicate that there are, to our viewers, a lot of teams from outside of the Channel 19 area here, as Jennifer crushed a line drive right to the second baseman for the first out in the inning. Runner on first and 1 away. Coming up to the plate is Amanda Sexton, number 1. And we're getting some other lineups handed in to us here. Good, thank you very much. Fairmont's involved with this. This is a state tournament, so let's talk for a minute about some of the teams that have come to Noblesville this weekend.
Well, this week in the tournament, in a 15 and over, or 15 and under, pardon me, we have Tipton, Fairmount, LaPel, Sheridan, Hamilton Heights, and Noblesville are the 6 teams. The 12 and under tournament, we have Madison Grant, Westfield, Sheridan, Tipton, Hamilton Heights, LaPel, and Noblesville fielded 2 teams in the 12 and under. We had more girls involved in our 12 and under program, so we were able to field 2 teams. The 10 and under program, Noblesville does not have a 10 and under program, so the teams involved were Madison Grant, Westfield, Sheridan, Tipton, Heights, and LaPel.
Quite a number of teams from right around central Indiana and beyond. And let's credit Amanda Sexton with that base hit to left field that drove in Heather Burdett for the first run of the ball game, and Westfield goes on top here in the top half of the first. We will follow this game, but we're going to let you watch the game. I want to make sure we touch bases on this tournament because it has been a fantastic tournament, and I know everybody involved with the Noblesville League is very, very proud to be hosting it.
We are. We'd like to especially thank the Hamilton County Parks and Recreation for allowing us to use Morse Beach, and also our home diamond at Forest Park, the softball diamond behind the boys' Babe Ruth field, which is our home during the regular season. The Parks Department has been really good to us in taking care of the diamond, mowing it, lining it for us, giving us anything we need. So we'd like to give a big thanks to those folks. And one other person I might mention, Carl Bowman, who works for the Parks Department, has been a real big hand lately on getting our diamond ready for the tournament and working extra hours, giving us a hand.
Watching to see the play, the throw to first drew the first baseman off the bag, so the batter, that was Jessica Mulligan, was safe at first. Prior to that, Trish Fleming got a base hit to center field. She's over at third base now. Westfield has put their second run on the board with runners on first and third, and still only 1 out here. It's the top half of the first inning, And Westfield will put another run across the plate as Trish Fleming scores on the pass ball. Let's talk about this game now a little bit. These are the 12 and under. There's a 2-hour time limit, I believe.
I believe in this game there is a 2-hour time limit with a 10-run rule after 5 innings of play. The girls, it's fast pitch. A lot of rules that maybe some of the local fans aren't up with. This is real softball competition. We like to stress that we play a real competitive type game, learning or hoping the girls will learn so that as they progress to high school, they'll be ready for the team.
And for Westfield, I think they'd just be happy to play the whole 2 hours right here batting, and they're off to a nice start so far. This is Megan Lotz who's up at the plate right now, I believe. We're out here in center field, and the view you're getting from the center field camera, we're out right next to it, and it is somewhat hard to see, and I can tell.
Second.
Megan.
Oh, nice catch!
Nice
Nice
right
catch.
Field, and yeah, that was a great catch. We're talking about the level of play right here, and I want to try to identify that young lady. She's listed. She's number 3.
Should be Amanda Osborne, I think.
For the Fairmount squad.
Looks like they gave me a wrong lineup. Jessica Howard.
Jessica Howard was listed in left field, but actually number 3 made the catch out there. We'll credit her. There's going to be a base hit driving in yet another Westfield run, and I'm hoping you're keeping up with the book because I'm having trouble keeping up with it here, Dave.
It's tough.
Lots of runs coming across by the Westfield squad here in the top half of the first inning. This game basically, I think, is about a semifinal game here in the 12 and under tournament.
This is a loser's bracket game.
Okay.
The winner of this game plays Tipton, I believe, for the finals.
So basically, a semifinal, I guess, is
Yes.
the closest you can call it. Double elimination tournament. Right now, Westfield doing their best to put a lot of runs on the plate. We talked earlier, and I do want to comment about Gary Ambler. Gary's actually the one who called us and to see if we could come out and cover a game. And Gary, I thank you for doing that. It's a pleasure for us to be able to feature not only the individuals who are in this game from Westfield, but the tournament itself, because it's a lot of hard work by a lot of people to put these tournaments on.
It is. Gary's our tournament director. He and Tom Weaver, who's the co-tournament director, have done an outstanding job, especially this morning with the heavy rains that came last night. Both diamonds were underwater. They got them both playable, and actually they couldn't be in better shape than they are right now.
And for Westfield, they're in great shape.
Yeah.
The way they're punching runs across the board here. I think I've even lost track.
I think
where
we're
we
at
are in
Jessica
batting order.
Thornberry. I think we're at
Okay.
the bottom of the order.
Jessica Thornberry. Now, do they bat 10 here in this?
No, you
Bat 9?
you play till you're 3 outs.
5. Okay, but I mean, as
Oh
far
yes,
as the
it's a
batting
nine.
order?
It's a 9-player batting order.
Okay.
Yeah, Gary and his staff have done a real good job. Put in a lot of hours. The tournament started Thursday night, and we had 4 games here on Thursday night. We had a game at Forest Park Diamond on Thursday night. 2 more runs.
And the batter, who was in fact Jessica Thornberry, ends up at third base after the ball gets thrown around the infield by the Fairmount squad. I was going to comment, we started to talk about Gary and yourself and several other people that are working out here, talking about the one girl from Fairmount who throws very, very hard. She's, I think, playing third base right now. And I know she has some innings left in her, and at this rate, we may see her tonight. So Noblesville or Westfield may want to pick up as many runs as they can here quickly.
I think we have a situation where that Fairmount might be saving someone and could pay the price for it.
Yeah, you can save them for tomorrow, assuming you get tomorrow. But is Fairmount undefeated still in this bracket?
No, they're in the loser's bracket.
Okay. So, yeah, it's a danger to save them when you're in a double elimination and you're only 1 loss away.
Yeah.
There's a called strike. I believe we're back to the top of the batting order. We will try to confirm.
Yes, Heather
that, but
Burdett.
I think it's Heather Burdett. Back up again. Bounces back to the pitcher. Tosses over to first. That's the 3rd out in the inning. How many did they get?
They got 6 big ones.
6 runs Westfield puts across the top half of the first inning. We'll watch the Lady Shamrocks from Westfield on defense here when we come back to the bottom half of the first inning.
so you'll know how much we care. We'd always give you the best, we sure do, and deliver it with flair. It's never a labor to do you a favor, a smile and a how do you do. Serving you is a pleasure to us. At Marsh, we value you.
We are back from Morse Park and Beach for the Babe Ruth State Softball Tournament. This is a 12 and under contest we're watching. Westfield in green on the field after scoring 6 runs in the top half of the first inning. Tournament sponsored by or hosted by the Noblesville Girls Softball Association. As Dave Robbins, our guest analyst, and welcome to the broadcast, David. Nice to have you with us on Channel 19, by the way. We didn't get a chance to talk about you too much.
Well, it's a real pleasure. I had the honor of coaching our 15 and under All-Stars this year. And although we're out of the tournament, we did a really fine job beating an outstanding Tipton team 13-2 on Thursday night, and probably what has to be one of the major upsets in sports history.
Major upsets in sports history.
Well, it seemed like it at the time.
I understand that.
It was a thrilling victory, and our girls played exceptional.
And those are things that you put in the bank and keep for a lifetime.
You sure do. Yeah, it's something we'll always remember.
And there's a base hit to left field by the leadoff batter for the squad from Fairmount, Jessica Howard. We talked about her on the top half of the first. She made a great catch in right field. Leadoff batter, she's very, very tiny, but boy, what some talent that young lady's got.
Yeah, she looks like quite a player. Size doesn't always mean everything.
Now, you haven't been up in Hamilton County that long. I understand you're down in the Indianapolis area for several years.
Yeah, I was down there for a while. We've lived up here for about 6.5 years. Really like it in Noblesville. It was a good move for us. But I've coached the last 3 years before this. I coached a Babe Ruth boys team, which was a great experience. That's a fine program that Steve Koslow has out at Forest Park. This year, I decided to move over to the girls and work with my daughter, and it's been a rewarding experience.
2-0 the count here to the second batter for Fairmount. That is Casey Branton. Of course, Fairmount, well known as the home of James Dean up north, just south of Marion is where Fairmount is, if you haven't been up that way. So they've traveled quite a way. This game on a Sunday night, 8 o'clock being played, so the young ladies from Fairmount have a fair trip ahead of them to get back home yet tonight.
Well, as we speak, Fairmount has a fair representation of people here because their 15 and under team is playing for the championship in that age group on another diamond as we speak. They must have a really strong program up there.
It seems like a couple years ago I was doing some PA work for Hamilton Heights area up in Cicero, and there was a team from Fairmount in one of their tournaments they had, and they played well then. So they're doing something right in Fairmount, and we're going to try to find out who they're playing. And I think they're playing Tipton in that 15 and under.
Yes, they are.
Game.
Yeah.
That's the championship for the 15.
It's the championship at the 15. I had the privilege, if you call it that, playing both teams. Like I said, we beat Tipton 13-2 on Thursday night, lost 18-7 to Fairmount on Saturday, and then didn't play our best last night and got beat by Tipton in a rematch 13-2. So I've seen both teams, and Fairmount's awfully good.
Well, Dave, I will say again, it's nice to have you with us here, but doggone it, I'd just soon see you over at the other diamond coaching the Noblesville squad right now.
I wish we were there.
There was a lot of good representation in Hamilton Heights and from the Hamilton County area in that 15 and under tournament too. And unfortunately, none of our viewing area squads are in the championship, but I know they had a good time participating. Right down the right field line. That thing about kicked up the chalk.
A 2-run single.
And Fairmount battling back here in the bottom half of the first inning. Let's tell you a little bit about where the Westfield ladies are positioned out there in the field. Doing the pitching right now is Amanda Sexton. You see the number 7 on her jersey. Her battery mate is Trish Fleming, the catcher behind the plate. Over at first base is Heather Burdett. At second base is Jennifer Wyatt. Shortstop is Megan Lotes. Natalie Beck is the shortstop. Megan Lotes is the third baseman, In center field is Tabitha Huffman. And we'll give you the rest as we watch the play unfold in front of us.
Thornberry's in right field, it looks like.
Thornberry's in right field. Jessica Mulligan is in left field. So That's how the green shirts of Westfield take place in this game here. 12 and under semifinal matchup. The winner advances to the championship bracket tomorrow night, I believe that is. And threw her out at third base. Nice throw, and now some good heads-up base running by the Fairmount squad number 68, Lindsay Walker. She took advantage of a lull in the action and zipped over to third base, but a nice throw by Trish Fleming down to third base to get the tag out on the attempted steal.
That was a heads-up running play.
One thing you won't do in this game is fall asleep, because there's plenty of action going on all the time.
There is, and if you set up near the backstop, the parents will keep you awake too. They really get into the game.
That's the fun thing about girls softball, especially the younger they are, the more the parents are involved. The game just prior to this featured Hamilton Heights and Tipton, and one of the parents from Tipton had a great big foghorn or something. They were blasting off through the whole game.
It's great to see parent involvement.
Oh, it is, and as you mentioned, there's a big crowd here from all over. Just got word from my son that that game prior to this one, Tipton won 6-3 over Hamilton Heights. And again, I think that shows the level of skill. I mean, these aren't like, those particular games weren't high-scoring games, so there had to be some good defensive play in there.
Good defense and good pitching. In order to hold a team to 6 runs or 3 runs, you can't walk people, and you have to catch the ball when it's hit to you. So, yeah, that's what we all look for, is the good pitching and good defense.
Now, there is going to be all-star teams selected from this that will go on to play in other tournaments. And in the 15 and under tournament, I don't know if any of your girls made the all-star team or not.
Yeah, fortunately, the way it works is that as each team is eliminated from the tournament, 2 girls are selected from that team to progress up to Columbia City next Saturday to play in a Babe Ruth All-Star tournament. And from our Noblesville 15 and under team, Megan Miller, a fine player who pitched for me, although that's really not her position. She's a strong hitter, is a great fielder, but I had to pitch her because I had no one else was selected, as well as Shannon Robbins, my daughter. So both those girls will be up in Columbia City next week playing.
Well, it's got to make you feel pretty good to have your daughter selected to go.
Well, it does, and I'd like to point out that the selections were not made by the coaches. That I had
good thing to point out.
I had nothing to do with that. There's a selection committee headed up by Tom Weaver, who checks scorebooks, checks records, talks to coaches, and gets the overall play of the girls to select who goes on.
And I've been handed a note here that the Hamilton Heights girls, actually Hamilton Heights looks like they have 3 that are going up. Melissa McGortick, Tiffany Wicks, and Carrie Lively. They're going to go to that tournament in Columbia City. And
yeah.
for the Team South, as it will be, the winners of the 15 and under, and boy, we're just watching the action unfold in the field like crazy out there. The winning team in that 15 and under tournament, I believe, goes to Illinois next week, do they not?
That's, well, the winning team in the 15 under and also the 12 and under.
Okay.
Will play over in Marshall, Illinois next weekend in a multi-state, I guess you'd have to call it, regional tournament for right to go to the Babe Ruth finals to play for the National Babe Ruth Championship.
So what we are talking about here is actually a high level of competition that really has a chance to advance a long ways, and I would imagine we had the opportunity at Channel 19 to cover the boys 13 to 15 Ohio Valley Regional last year down in Carmel. We covered every game, wire to wire with it.
Quality baseball, I would imagine.
And so I know what these kids are vying for is to get out into that level of competition. So you're talking about the best of our area, hopefully advancing on to some big-time tournaments.
That's correct. Yeah, it gives the girls something to shoot for. It's going to be tough on a coaching standpoint to figure out how you can get off work to go coach a team in Illinois, but unfortunately we didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's the key word there, I guess, unfortunately, yeah.
It would have been a good problem to have.
Yeah, really, that's the one you find a way to work around.
Yeah. Oh, I might mention while we're at it that our 12 and under team that was just eliminated earlier today had some girls selected to go up to Columbia City and play in their age bracket tournament, and those girls that were selected, if I can find them in my notes here, let's see, I know it was Molly Gallimore and Rebecca Kinneman off of one of the Noblesville teams, and Patty Stevens off the second Noblesville team. They'll be going up next weekend too.
So for a lot of these kids, it's advancing on, and of course for parents, advancing on as well. You won't be going to Illinois, but you will be going to Columbia City.
If I can find a map to locate it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not just around the corner either.
I know it's north.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of ways you can go north. All right, let's kind of bring everybody up to date here. We've been talking a lot.
Looks like we got 6-4 with the bases loaded, with one out.
So Fairmount battling back in their half of the first inning against the Westfield squad. Westfield did put 6 runs on the board in the top half of the first. They're now trying to contain, and it looks like we're going to have a visit to the mound. Amanda Sexton, who has been on the mound, getting roughed up a little bit by the Fairmount squad, but I will say I don't think she's walked that many.
No, she's thrown it in there. They've just hit it where their defensive people aren't, and there's not much you can do about it.
She's had 3 walks, I understand. Here is that.
Yeah, well, she started out okay, and in her last 2 batters she's walked, and she'd walked one earlier, so yes.
Okay.
A little bit of control problems.
There's a pop-up. Nice running catch. Fouled territory by the first baseman for Noblesville. For Noblesville. I'm so busy talking about we're in Noblesville. For Westfield, Heather Burdett made the nice catch over in front of the Fairmount bench for the 2nd out in the inning. So Westfield trying to get out of trouble here. They still have a 2-run lead, but Fairmount has the bases loaded.
If the good little batter up, the one that led off the game.
That's right, back to the top of that Fairmount batting order, and this girl may be the most talented girl in this squad, although a small one. 1 ball, no strikes. Jessica Howard, who we're talking about from Fairmount. And she went down low for one that time. So the count evens up 1-1. Bottom half of the first inning. It's the girls 12 and under state tournament semifinal matchup from Morse Park and Beach. Hit foul down the third base line. I got to tell you, Dave, and I don't know how much time you spent into working on this diamond today, but I came out, we're doing this game noon on Sunday the 25th. There's a ground ball to short. No play anywhere, a run will score.
Those are the plays that'll hurt you.
Yeah, when you've got an out and you just don't capitalize, but 12 and under girls, that's prone to happen from time to time.
It happens everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it happens at all levels, and certainly here. Anyway, this is Sunday the 25th of July when we are doing this game, and I was out here at noon, and this diamond was in tough shape from all the weather last night. It looks great tonight.
That's what I heard, and there are a couple of people that we need to thank for that, because there's some gentlemen got here at 8 o'clock this morning, spent the whole day working out here, done a fantastic job getting this diamond to work and play. And we need to give some thanks to Brad Wood, Ken Stevens, Carl Bowman, who come out on his own and helped us today, Joe Lehman, Gary Ambler. Those gentlemen all spent a lot of hours out here working today to get this diamond in shape so these girls could play tonight.
Having been involved myself with youth baseball and football over the years, I certainly appreciate and realize and understand the number of hours that it takes to just do a regular season type of activity. A tournament of this magnitude where you're hosting a statewide tournament, I think a lot of people don't realize that the hours. I mean, here it is 8:30 at night, and some of these guys like Gary and the other guys you're talking about have been here since 8 this morning.
Yeah, they're very unselfish with their time. They do it because they like to help the girls have something to do, and it's just great that the people in the area can do that.
And we'll talk a little bit more about them as the night progresses too. Right now, we've finished off the bottom half of the first inning. Westfield will be coming to bat when we come back.
I got it at 60.
At Westfield Pharmacy, you'll find that a lot of things have changed over the years. Things like a convenient drive-through window, free prescription delivery, and 24-hour emergency prescription service. If a speedy recovery at home is just what the doctor ordered, let Westfield Pharmacy, a Convacare agency, help you follow your physician's instructions. See Rod Weller for medical equipment rental, setup, and maintenance, and Dave Weiss for pharmaceuticals. Westfield Pharmacy, the people who care.
We're back. It's the top half of the second inning in this girls 12 and under matchup state tournament sponsored by Noblesville Girls Softball Association, held at Morse Park and Beach. Westfield's the team we're featuring in this ball game. They're taking on the squad from Fairmount. Right now, after one inning of play, if you've just joined us, you've missed a lot of runs being scored. Both teams put 6 runs on the board in their respective half of the first inning. Now Westfield batting again, top half of the second inning. This is Jennifer Wyatt, the second baseman, who's up at the plate, and she has a 3-0 count. Trying to get on base and get it started for the green shirts of Westfield. Called strike. What's really great is when you watch these games later, from this angle, you get that opportunity to really watch that umpire's calls and know if you want to agree or disagree with them. We've talked about volunteers. Of course, here I'm sure the umpires are paid, and they're all sanctioned umpires. I think that needs to be stressed
yes, they are.
too.
They are all sanctioned, and they do get paid. We had a couple people who refused to take money and donated their time, but these gentlemen work hard, and this is a way they pick up some extra money. And
that's right.
It's just good. Actually, the umpire is probably the hardest thing to find. There's just a lack of umpires. Coach always thinks there's a lack of quality umpires, but if you can get somebody out there who'll do it, you're always glad to have them.
And I know a lot of the umpires, like Arnett Cooper, who's working on that championship game on the other diamond over there. Arnie, a good friend of mine and a great guy and a tremendous umpire, as I'm sure all of these are. Yeah, the umpires are always easy to disagree with. You know, I used to do a lot of umpiring when I wasn't coaching, and when I was down at first base in one of those bang-bang plays, the guy I worked with all the time behind the plate said, I always knew which way you made the call by who cheered and who booed.
That's true. No, these umpires in the 4 games that my team played, I can't really say that they ever missed a call. They were right on top of everything, and so they are a good group.
It's important to stress at this level of play that you do have sanctioned umpires. These guys have taken some courses and done a lot of umpiring to be able to get there. And I don't know exactly what's going on here right now. Again, we're out here 300 feet away, and it's tough to keep track of everything. I do know that there's been some discrepancy, it looks like, because everybody's talking around the scorebooks. Maybe
well, I hope they don't check with us, because I'm not sure mine's up to date.
Yeah. The only thing we could do is replay it back for them, I guess.
Oh, we could do that.
We could tell them to wait until next week when we're actually on the air, and then certainly they'd know what's going on. What we do know is that Jennifer Wyatt was at the plate. She drew a walk, and she's down at first base right now for Westfield. Fairmont's on the field trying to stay loose. And it does appear that Amanda Sexton is waiting her turn at the plate, so I'm not exactly sure what the situation is. But I do hear one of the fans hollering, let's play ball, and I think I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah, you never like to see a delay in a game like this. It doesn't help anybody. Mosquitoes are bad.
Yeah, well, just give them a while. They'll get a little bit stronger before the night goes on. Of course, we've stressed that we are at Morse Park and Beach, which means we are very close to Morse Reservoir. And we have a little ditch running right behind us, so the mosquitoes have plenty of places to breed. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break here while they sort this out. It's the top half of the second inning. Westfield's at bat, and we'll be right back. Well, Dave, we have managed to come back on and pick up some more softball action, and right now Matt Willie, my son, is running over to find out what that long delay was, and even after we broke away there were still 3 or 4 more minutes, and the only thing we can guess right now, and we'll know for sure in a few minutes, is maybe they were verifying the score because the scoreboard's not running, and I think both teams are keeping track of it in their own books.
Well, there is an official book up there, so whatever that gentleman has should be what we go by.
So who knows, but they were over by the table over there, and hopefully we can find out and let everybody know. I'd like to know. I'd like to know why we're getting eaten alive by mosquitoes while they're talking about it. What we do know now, however, is that Jennifer Wyatt has made it all the way over to third base. She's there with nobody out, and Amanda Sexton's at the plate for Westfield. We believe the score is tied 6-6, and I say that not because I doubt you, Dave, on the book, but with that long discussion, I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
Well, my book could be wrong.
Actually, your book's probably the one that's right around here. And I'd like to mention we have Diosa Lee, affectionately known as Bubbles around Channel 19 land, on the camera. She's battling the mosquitoes a little bit too, are you? So if the camera has a sudden jump, it's probably because she's swatting one away.
Well, we had our first strikeout of the game.
That was Amanda Sexton that went down for the first out here in the top half of the second inning, and this is Trish Fleming stepping up to the plate. Trish, a good-sized young lady, it appears, for under 12.
It's amazing how many tall girls there are out here. It's I don't know if girls just get bigger now than they used to, but the girls seem to be pretty good size.
All right, well, thank you, Matt. We have the official explanation now. The Fairmount scorekeeper thought that Westfield was batting out of order, but then she found out that she had mismarked something in her book, so everything is all right. Westfield's batting where they should be batting and trying to score some runs, and they will do that right now as Trish Fleming drills a base hit to center field, bringing in Heather Burdett for the 7th Westfield run of the night and the first one in the inning.
I might point out, Steve, that that's one reason that we have an official scorekeeper at every game, so that, because if that situation had been different, it was hard to iron out the problem.
Yeah,
but,
who would know?
On each diamond, every game, we've had a scorekeeper, and those people are invaluable to us.
It goes back, before I get into that, let me just mention that this is Jessica Mulligan up at the plate. It goes back to the point of how many people it takes to run a tournament like this. And a lot of times you don't see some of the things like the scorekeeper, who's been sitting here in 95-degree weather all day today, the scorekeepers have, and not a lot of places to hide out here in softball diamonds either as far as
No, there's
shade.
not many trees.
Well hit ground ball to third.
Oh,
and
what a
you
play,
saw
what a
the
play.
arm. And now you're going to see a run scored by Westfield as Trish Fleming comes in. Jessica Mulligan hit a scorcher down to third base. And the third baseman for Fairmount is Lindsay Walker. She's the other pitcher and the real talented one we talked about earlier. And she displayed some of that talent and strength right now. She gunned one across the
She has
diamond.
a cannon for an arm.
Now, there's a lot of older boys and girls like to have an arm like that.
Speaking of our volunteers, we have some other people that that it takes to run a tournament. We've had people taking tickets who've sat out in the hot sun for 4 days. We've got people who are, we've been selling T-shirts, some nice T-shirts that the people have been printing up. So there's a lot of jobs other than just what you see on the field. It takes a numerous amount of people.
And I certainly like to stress that because, like I said, I've been involved with these things, and I know the time and the hours and patience. People in a concession stand, and it gets kind of warm in those concession stands as well.
Unfortunately, our arrangement with Morse Beach.
Oh!
What a play by the
Excuse
third
me.
baseman. What a play.
Well, I'll tell you that, Lindsay Walker, what an athlete that young lady is. 2 great defensive plays by Lindsay Walker of Fairmount slowed the Westfield rush down in the second inning. Westfield picked up 2 runs. They're going on top 8-6 after 1.5, and Fairmount will be coming to bat when we come back.
If you love Benihana's but hate getting there, try Toriyama's Japanese Steakhouse, 165 North 9th Street in Noblesville. This hibachi-style restaurant uses only the finest meats and seafood and freshest vegetables. Toriyama's offers an affordable children's menu, lunch items starting at $3.95 and dinner entrees starting at $7.95. Your delicious meal is prepared before you on an open grill. So come and enjoy a taste of Japan in the heart of Hamilton County at Toriyama's Japanese Steakhouse.
Moving to the bottom half of the second inning. Westfield out on the field now. They have a 2-run lead, 8-6 after an inning and a half. Still throwing for Westfield, Amanda Sexton. Amanda in her second inning of work, and I'm sure if they put the ball in play, Amanda'd like to see some of that defensive help that the Fairmount pitcher got in the top half of the inning from that Lindsay Walker.
That was quite a display of defense.
3-0 the count to the leadoff batter for Fairmount. As we were talking between innings, Dave, I think that young lady number 68 from Fairmount's one maybe folks you want to remember her name, because if she progresses with the talent that she has today, she's going to be a fine athlete for Fairmount area. Nice put out. That was Jennifer Wyatt to Heather Burdett. One up and one down, and that's what you want to see is defensive support on those plays that you can get the outside.
Yeah, at this age level, when the ball is hit to you, in order to be a winning team, you've got to make those outs. You got to make the outs. Now this is the girl that's playing third base. Is also an awesome hitter. If she gets a hold of one, she can really crank it.
So when we were just talking about, Lindsay Walker is her name. She showed you what kind of a defensive player is. I've heard from everybody here what kind of a pitcher she is at this age level, and now we get a chance to watch her up at the plate as she laces a single into right center field. She's got good speed too.
Real aggressive, real aggressive.
So Lindsay Walker down at second base with one out for Fairmount, bottom half of the second inning. Westfield on the field, and one thing you have to be encouraged about so far here in this inning from the Westfield standpoint, both people have hit the ball, no walks. I mean, you've had to put out base hits. Okay, it's a base hit. That's a talented athlete getting it, but it's a lot better than walking. And at this level, that's something you have to be very concerned about.
Well, anyone who saw my 15 and under team play, that was my philosophy. Noblesville, to be honest, we lacked pitching, and my goal was to have a pitcher who threw strikes. Megan Miller did that for me. We didn't walk, and when we fielded the ball, we were a good team. And when we didn't, we had trouble. You can't defense a walk.
Yeah.
There's just no way to do it. If you throw strikes and they hit the ball, there's a good chance they'll hit it at somebody and you'll make a play.
So far in this inning, the Fairmount squad has been hitting the ball, one out, one hit so far. Lindsay Walker at second base for Fairmount. Amanda Sexton on the mound for Westfield. 8-6 is the score as we watch the game unfold in front of us.
There's one of those walks.
There's one of those dreadful walks.
Usually what happens is you walk a couple and then somebody gets a hit. And it's just...
It doesn't matter what level you're at, from the professional baseball players to 12-year-old or 10-year-old girls, walks will kill you. One strike to this Fairmount batter. Let's see if we can tell everybody who this is.
Should be Annie Painter.
Annie Painter, first baseman. Close play down at third. Walker slides in underneath the tag by Lotes. So Fairmount now has the tying runs in scoring position. We've talked about a couple of these Fairmount girls here a little bit. Let's also mention that the girl who's up now, the first baseman, got a little bit of talent too. She's catching those throws that Walker's gunning over from third base.
Sometimes it's not easy to find somebody who can hang on to those.
And I think the thing we're pointing out here, folks, is that there's some talent on this Fairmount squad, and our Westfield girls leading right now. So there's some talent on that Westfield squad as well. One of those talented athletes is the catcher for Westfield. We've seen her hitting the ball very well so far in the ball game, Trish Fleming.
Nice
play. Speaking of talent, that was the shortstop, Natalie Beck, who made the put out. Natalie did a nice job picking that one up and throwing it across to first baseman Heather Burdett. We've talked about Heather. She made a nice running catch in the first inning. So you're seeing good defensive play on both sides. On that particular play, a run did score, so the lead now 8-7. 2 outs, however.
You're usually always willing to trade an out for a run at this age level.
Oh, absolutely. And in the case right there of Natalie Beck, she was deep towards shortstop, towards third base, and Amanda Sexton's going to help herself out, reeling in that little pop-up. So the Westfield defense does the job in the bottom half of the second inning. Fairmount does punch one across, but after 2, it's Westfield 8, Fairmount 7. We'll be right back.
Does your yard look like a jungle? Are you waist-high in weeds? We've got the solution. Bring your broken mower, hedge trimmers, edge trimmers, riding mowers, and other small engines to Westfield Power Mower. We know how to get you back on the yard work track. We offer sales and service on a variety of models, like Echo, Snapper, Cushman, Ransom's, and more. We've earned a reputation for reliable quality service, so come on in to Westfield Power Mower at 301 Main Street in Westfield, because it can be a jungle out there.
We're entering the top half of the third inning. This great group of girls from Westfield is leading in the ballgame. That's Natalie Beck with the slow roller to second. She's put out at first base. Natalie, we saw her go deep in the hole at shortstop to get a put out for the Westfield team and defensively. So nice job by Natalie. Put some wood on the ball, or metal on the ball, I guess probably a better way.
They don't use wood anymore.
One up and one down for Westfield. Top half of the third inning. The Westfield girls are on top, 8-7. It's the 12 and under semifinal matchup in the state tournament from Morse Park and Beach. And Dave, we were talking between innings about the sponsors, and we've talked about them on air, or volunteers and everything, and we were talking about sponsors. Nothing happens without them. And after this pitch, I want to talk about the sponsor of your team, because nothing happens at Channel 19 without sponsors either. And your sponsor happens to be a great one of ours, Riverview Sports Medicine.
Yeah, the good folks at Riverview Sports Medicine came up with, they donated us 20 shirts for my team to wear. Probably the best looking uniforms out here. We had more compliments on the shirts that the fine folks at Riverview gave us than I could ever imagine. But without the sponsors, not only for the tournament, during our regular season, we wouldn't be able to function. We're a self-sustaining league. We have no funding from anyone except ourselves. So we're always looking for those fine folks out there to give us a hand.
That was Heather Burdett, I believe.
I believe that should have been Tabitha Huffman.
Okay,
I believe.
Tabitha Huffman, who now is at second base and
is on her way to third.
Touching the base at second, now heading towards third. So Tabitha Huffman, with a walk, now finds herself over at third base with one down, and Jessica Thornberry up at the plate. And I don't think we can even overplay sponsors. I mean, they're so important to you guys. Channel 19 is a self-sustaining organization, so we appreciate that a lot, how important sponsors are.
They are. Sponsors during the season, the sponsor fee helps pay for the uniforms, helps us pay for umpires, equipment. You know, we have a fundraiser. We had a pizza sale this year, which worked out really well. It's the first time I've ever been associated with a pizza sale, but it was probably the best fundraiser I've ever seen and the easiest.
People like their pizza.
Everybody eats pizza, and it was a worthwhile cause, and it was good pizza. So that worked fine. But like I say, without the sponsors, you just can't do anything.
That is so true, and we are so glad to be able to even talk about them, because they're very, very important aspects to just about anything that goes on nowadays. And it takes a lot of money for those businesses, and they have to dole them out to whoever they see fit. And it's great to see them supporting the youth of Hamilton County.
Yeah, like I said, our league is growing from the first year 3 teams, which is probably, you're speaking only maybe 40 girls, to this year we had over 90 girls, and hopefully next year it will be even more. So always looking to find new sponsors. Anyone out there who'd like to help us, we'd be more than willing to take their money.
So eloquently put. Well, a run's going to score on the pass ball, and Jessica Thornberry's going to go down to second base, so Westfield widens their lead out a little bit more. Now up 9-7, I believe, here, and we're in the third inning. I'm trying to keep track of this mentally, and my mind is really weak, so that's going to be a tough one. My son's nodding vehemently in agreement to that.
On the score, or your mental problems?
This is Heather Burdett, who's up at the plate right now. This talented group from Westfield doing battle against a good squad from Fairmount. We've talked about a couple of the really good players the Fairmount squad has, and certainly it indicates the talent on Westfield that they're extending that lead out here and threatening to do even more damage in the top half of the third inning. Now Jennifer Wyatt stepping up to the plate. So if I'm pretty close with the score, I have no idea how many outs there are.
Well, I show 1.
Okay, that's what I was going to say,
Yep.
but I'd rather defer to the book. High pop up to short left field, pulled in by the left fielder. And now with only 1 out, we're going to see a put out at second base. Dave, you knew how many outs there were.
Yes, we'll have to score that one 7-1 to 4.
So the fly out to left and then doubled up the runner who had left second base a little bit early. Third out in the inning, Westfield scores 1 after 2.5. It's 9-7, Westfield over Fairmount. We'll be right back.
When you think of Sanders Glen, a lot of things come to mind. Leisure living in your own complete apartment, a nice yard and garden, friendly neighbors for friendly chats and fun activities. Your complete independence with the safety and convenience of 24-hour response, transportation, and a common dining room. Enjoy your life. Save your money. Call Sanders Glen Westfield for a free tour at 867-0212. Low rent, no buy-in fee at Sanders Glen.
Bottom half of the third inning starts on that pitch from Amanda Sexton into Trish Fleming. It was a ball high and outside. Westfield on top of Fairmount 9-7 as we enter the bottom of the third inning. Ground out back to Amanda. She throws it over to Heather Burdett. 1 up and 1 down, and that's the type of thing I'm sure Westfield would like to see a lot more of.
Easy ground balls back to the pitcher are probably about the easiest out there is. Maybe we'll get that 1-2-3.
Yeah, we were talking about we need to, no pitch will be on that play. The umpire wasn't set. We were talking between innings, Dave and I were, about how we're going to run out of air time and tape time before the game gets done at the rate we're going. So 1-2-3 inning would be nice, and it's a nice start for Westfield here in the bottom of the third. On the second pitch, a bounce out back to Sexton. That one's down low from Amanda. The league that you coached in, Dave, or the tournament space that you coached in, the under 15 girls, having a barn burner going on the other diamond. It's like 1-1 in the third or fourth inning. Tipton and Fairmount in the championship game.
The quality of both teams playing on diamond is really exceptional. Both teams are well coached. Both teams have really good pitchers, and it should be a heck of a ball game. Back here on this diamond, a Fairmount single to center field where Tabitha Huffman played it back in for Westfield. So with 1 out, Fairmount has a runner on first. Coach is going through signs, fake the bunt, and the stolen base will happen without a throw. Fairmount now with a runner at second base and 1 down. And I think they're back at the top of their batting order.
They are.
Jessica Howard up at the plate. Jessica to shortstop, throw over, not in time, back to third base.
Oh, they got her.
They got her.
They got
her. Nice job. Excellent defensive work by Westfield. The runner on the hit beat the throw to first, but Heather Burdett, alert, quickly made the throw back to third as the runner attempted to get over, and Lotz, Megan Lotz put a great tag on over at third base, so nice defensive effort. And those are added pluses when everybody's alert and they make good plays like that.
That was a heads-up play.
Excellent work by the Westfield defense. Gets the second out in the inning and takes a runner out of scoring position. Now Fairmount with a runner at second and 2 down here in the bottom half of the third inning. Runner advances over to third base. She's there now with 2 outs.
I might talk a little bit about our 2 Noblesville entries in the 12 and under age bracket this year. Had a really fine showing from both teams. Although they're both out, they played really fine ball. The improvement between last year's play and this year's was remarkable. Last year we got killed in both games, and we won a couple games this year. Both teams played exceptionally well.
It's nice to see the young ladies improving in their talent and ability and knowledge of the game. I mean, this is about winning and losing, but it's also about learning to play the game and sportsmanship. And there's been a lot of great sportsmanship, I think, displayed throughout this tournament from what I've seen and heard from everybody I've talked to here too, Dave.
Yeah, I haven't seen any problems at all. The girls are very competitive on the field, and as soon as the game's over, you know, they're back to being normal kids, and that's what you like to see. Another nice play.
Great defensive stop on the hard hit ball. That was Jennifer Wyatt, the second baseman, who made the throw over. So Westfield does the job defensively in the bottom half of the third inning. They shut out Fairmount. They have a 9-7 lead. After 3, we'll be right back.
For 3 generations, the name Merideth has been associated with bail bonding in Hamilton County. Don Merideth Bail Bonds is a part of this community. Located directly across from the new jail, Don Merideth offers personal, confidential service. You can get free bond advice, and if you have to post bond, you'll greatly expedite the process by stopping at Don Merideth Bail Bonds first. Don Merideth Bail Bonds offers a comfortable waiting area where you're treated with dignity and respect. Visa, MasterCard, and checks are welcome. Call Don Merideth, your Hamilton County bondsman.
Well, we're heading towards the halfway point of this 12 and under girls game. It's the top half of the 4th inning. Westfield batting. They have the lead 9-7. It's nice to have you with us. This special presentation here by Channel 19, and it gives us a great deal of pleasure to be able to showcase some of the fine young talent in the county, and to showcase some of the activities like this state tournament, Babe Ruth tournament that's going on. Actually, it was a several-day event that ran through the weekend of the 24th and 25th of July into Monday the 26th, and Dave Robbins joins us to talk about the game, and it's been a good one so far.
It has been. We've seen some good plays on both teams defensively, seen some nice hitting. It's been a fine game.
Westfield now hoping to mount an offensive attack here in the 4th inning and see if they can't spread out their lead. You talked about your Noblesville entries in this 12 and under tournament, Dave. Of course, this Westfield squad eliminated one of those 2 teams earlier in the tournament.
Yeah, it was a game that was suspended because of last night's rain and storm, and from what I heard, Noblesville wished it would have been finished last night. They seemed to have lost a little momentum over the night.
And that does happen. You never know quite who's going to show up to play at this age level.
That's true. I might point out that our 12 and under teams were managed by Mike Gallimore, had one of the teams, and he done a really fine job with the girls. Mike's a longtime Noblesville resident, has been associated with youth athletics for a long time, and did a good job this year with his regular season girls team and then with his all-star team. The other team was coached by Tom Weaver, and Tom also did a fine job with his group.
That's Trish Fleming, who cued one off the end of the bat, fouled by home plate, so she'll come back. Just watching her run down and back, you see 2 things. One, this young lady's got a lot of hustle, and she's got a lot of speed.
Yeah. You like to see that, run out those foul balls.
She also has a good eye at the plate as she backs away from the inside toss. Westfield with a runner at first base. It's Amanda Sexton, who's been doing a nice job pitching for the ladies from Westfield in this ball game.
It looks to me like Fairmount is approaching the point where they need to think about changing pitchers. She seems to be struggling.
Starting to get a little bit wild. That's 2 consecutive walks. Westfield now with runners in first and second, nobody down. We talked about walks earlier and how they can hurt. Let's see if Westfield capitalizes on these 2 early walks here in the 4th inning. And attempting to capitalize will be Jessica Mulligan as she steps up to the plate. She laced one fair down the third baseline. Sexton rounds the plate, rounds third, heading home. She will come across safely, and the Westfield lead stretches out 10-7. And boy, what a shot by Mulligan just inside the bag down the third base line.
That's Jessica's second hit tonight. She had a single in the first inning also.
So there's one of those 2 walks that's come across the plate. The second one in the inning, Trish Fleming is over at third base right now. Mulligan's down at second with that double. And the Shamrocks, I don't know if they really are.
Sounds good to me. That's what all Westfield teams
They're
are.
from Westfield, and it's close enough for us.
We'll have the Lady Shamrocks.
Ground ball to short, put out at first is going to get one out. The throw back to third won't get Mulligan as she advances. Fleming comes across the plate to score, and the Westfield lead stretches out a little bit farther. They're now on top 11-7 here in the fourth inning with a runner on third and one away. And Megan Loach, the third baseman, coming up to the plate. Speaking of Shamrocks, I'd like to congratulate Jeff Norris and John Riggins. They participated in the Indiana Football Coaches Association State All-Star football game last weekend. Well, the same weekend we're doing this game, but last weekend now as we're watching this. And I'll tell you what, both of those young men held up very well and really showed their talent and displayed Hamilton County talent at its finest against the finest in the state. So Jeff and John, congratulations and good luck with your baseball careers at St. Joseph. They're two fine young men.
And Hamilton County's produced some mighty fine football players.
Oh, they have over the years, and some mighty fine people in general. And I'll tell you, we've had the pleasure here at Channel 19 of meeting an awful lot of them, and it has certainly been enjoyable for us. Could be a play at the plate. Toss is not in time. Mulligan comes across to score. Westfield now 12-7 their lead goes to. Crowd appears to be a little bit quieter tonight, Dave, than I've heard them throughout the tournament. I think it's getting a little late for a lot of people. They've spent a lot of hours here in these diamonds this weekend. There's another walk. So Westfield continuing to press the attack. That was Natalie Beck who drew the walk. And Tabitha Huffman, the center fielder, coming up to the plate. She takes a called strike. Down at second base, stolen base for Natalie Beck.
I think the crowd noise, Steve, might have something to do with the fact that we're so far away from the plate.
Maybe that's it. Takes a half hour to get out here to us. But it's a great view of the ball game. And certainly it's the best camera angle you can find for a game like this when you're only doing it with one.
I had the privilege of having you do one of my Babe Ruth games about 3 years ago at Forest Park, and you were down the left field line, and to be honest, the camera angle was not the best.
That's right, it was not. And at that point in time, we weren't sure we could even do a center field shot. We weren't sure how to get power out there, but you mentioned Steve Kozlow a few minutes ago, and guy, I hate to sing the praises of that guy, you know, because he's something else, and he knows what I'm talking about, don't you, Steve? But he has done a tremendous job with that program and has become so very helpful to us in getting set up to do the games. And it makes a big difference now having the ability to get out to center field and enough extension cord to get out to center field,
It's a long way on that diamond.
And it has always been tough, and another run comes across the plate for Westfield here, too. To do those games on that one camera, we tried down the left field line because we could get to the point where we could get wide enough to get pitcher catcher, but it's not the same as this angle we have here. So we're learning and improving as we progress as well.
Yeah, you are. This gives everyone a real perspective of the field, and like I said, a good angle to argue balls and strikes with the umpire.
Ground ball down to short. It's going to be a close play. They aren't going to get her. Safe at first base.
Speed it out.
Hustling down the line. That's Jessica Thornberry. So she's at first with 2 down, and Westfield, they've put across, what, 4 this inning?
4 this inning, yes.
So they lead 13-7, and they're going to go back to the top of their batting order. Heather Burdett up at the plate. Yeah, even when I did those games at sitting down there with we were on top of a U-Haul truck at the time.
That's
before
correct,
we had
yeah.
scaffolding. That was another reason we were there. We couldn't get the U-Haul truck behind all the way back around to center field. Couldn't have done it without the U-Haul truck either. You have to be elevated to get these games in at all. We've been fortunate to get some scaffolding this year, and that's helped a lot. Put out at first is going to be the 3rd out in the inning. but Westfield punches 4 across in the top half of the 4th inning. Their lead now 13-7 after 3.5. We'll be right back.
What do you do when garment repair bills become more expensive than new clothes, and new clothes are also out of the budget? You learn to sew. Classes are being formed now at the House of Supreme Sewing, Noblesville's newest sewing shop. So come in today, ladies, for our summer fun sewing. You will learn to repair all makes of clothing and also how to sew and decorate your own designs to wear. Classes are offered for all levels, so call Supreme Sewing today or stop by their showroom at 748 Hannibal Street, next to the Classic Kitchen in Noblesville.
Entering now the bottom half of the 4th inning, the Westfield Lady Shamrocks, as we will refer to them here. I don't know if they have another nickname or not, but they're all Shamrocks to us from Westfield country. Have a 13-7 lead. They're playing a very nice softball game out there. Exceptional talent. They've done the job defensively, and I've cursed them.
You put the hex on them.
It never happens. Natalie Beck made the attempt on the ground ball. However, the runner will be safe at first base. A few minutes ago, we were talking about Steve Koslow, and I was picking on Steve a little bit, as he and I tend to do with each other. But, boy, that Noblesville program is just a great program. In Forest Park, I love to do games from there, and I know you've enjoyed working with that program.
It was a great program to work with, and I'd like to thank Steve Koslow and the Babe Ruth, the boys Babe Ruth people for helping me this year. I was the groundskeeper for our girls program, and they anytime I needed any equipment, if I needed anything at all, I could just go up and get it from them. They were really a big help.
Of course, you mentioned Carl Bowman. I'm sure he was an integral part in helping out too. Oh, they're going to throw the ball away and let a run score. Unfortunate error for Westfield, and it gives Fairmount an easy run here in the bottom half of the 4th and cuts their lead down to 5, 13-8.
Well, that one didn't hurt them. If they can get the next one.
That's right.
Down.
I mean, you got a 5-run lead
Yep.
or a 6-run lead. I guess if you're going to have a mistake happen, that's the time to have it happen. We talked about Koslow, and of course that program is tremendous, but I do want to credit all of the programs out here in Hamilton County. They've been great to us at Channel 19, and we certainly have enjoyed showcasing as much of the action as we can. And here comes the hardest working young lady in the world. What is your name? Patty? Patty, you're working very hard tonight running this information out here to us. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay.
I might mention to the fans out there who aren't familiar with our league, and that the Noblesville teams, all the divisions, we play against the other teams in the county, the Tiptons, the Lapels. It's a travel league situation. You know, it's not an in-house league. We play these other teams home and away basis. We'll play a game at Sheridan. They'll play a game at our place. We'll play a game at Lapel. They'll come back and play there. So it's a good change that you don't see the same girls all the time.
Right.
You know, you get to see the girls you're going to compete against later on.
These programs have just developed over the years. And of course, as you said, the Noblesville Girls Softball Association, only 3 years old. Pop up. Oh, they got a shot at the runner at second if they can get it in quick enough. Oh, throw's going to be a little bit wild. That was a tough play. It dropped right in between the second baseman and the right fielder. They made a fine effort on it, though. You can't discount the effort that was made out there by Crystal Huffman, who's now in right field for Westfield. And, of course, second baseman Jennifer Wyatt. One of those balls that just had eyes. It managed to find the right place to go.
Yes, sometimes that happens.
Some changes being made for Fairmount, and I'm not sure if those are the same ones that we have here, but Patty, who just ran this out to us, Smith is in for music, is what it says.
Okay, we'll make that change in our book.
All right, and Steinmetz is in for Callahan. That's changes to the Fairmount roster. Of course, our attention focused on our home team for tonight's ball game, from a Channel 19 perspective at least, the Westfield team. They've earned their way here to the semifinals, defeating some fine competition along the way, including one of the Noblesville squads. Talked about that a little bit earlier. We're in the 4th inning. Westfield does have the lead, 13-8. Fairmount trying to cut into that lead here in this inning. Amanda Sexton has gone all the way for Westfield so far, and she looks like she may be struggling a little bit as we approach here the midway point of the ball game. Probably the one thing we haven't talked about extensively is, I've mentioned that this tournament has run for several days, and these kids don't get a lot of rest. Double elimination tournaments like this, you're playing games quite a bit of the time, and it has been very, very hot these past few days. These girls have to be wearing down a little bit.
A little bit. I know on the other diamond, the Tipton team is playing now. This is actually their second game in a row. They played the game right before that, too. So you're talking back-to-back games. I think both these other teams have played already today. So,
well, we know the Westfield squad here had to finish up their game against Noblesville.
That's correct, yes.
And that was, what, at 3 o'clock?
I believe so, yes.
That. They had 45 minutes of game time left that they had to play this afternoon earlier today. And I know when I came out here at 6 o'clock, it was 91 degrees. The Weather Channel said the heat index was 100. So at 3 o'clock, it had to be a little bit hotter than that yet. So these girls, pretty good shape to be able to keep going, even though it's cooled down right now. That takes a toll on you, that kind of heat.
It does. I always feel especially bad for the catchers. It's such a tough position, especially if you get an inning that lasts forever.
Lasts forever, yeah. Between getting up and down and all that gear, not to mention the home plate umpire.
Yes.
Who goes both ways. It doesn't matter who's pitching and catching. Amanda Sexton is definitely struggling a bit. The bases are now loaded for Fairmount. Nobody out here yet in the inning?
Nope.
Okay. So Fairmount threatening to come back into this, and I believe they're back to the top of their batting order. Is that right? Or?
Well, I think we're at number 6. Should be Amanda Osborne.
Okay. That's why they made those scorebooks. I ought to try to use one.
But I can't tell.
Well, I can tell you 61's on second base.
Yeah, that's Smith. She went into the game for music. So it should be Steinmetz on first.
Okay, the two subs, Drew walks. Pop up right in front of the plate.
We've got the infield fly rule on that one.
I was going to ask you if that was in effect.
Yes.
And yes, I can see the umpire signaling there. I was looking for the umpire out here on the bases and didn't see the signal. So I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, we do play an infield fly rule. We have a pass ball, third strike. You can run if the first base isn't occupied with less than 2 outs. So we play most of the rules that they'll see when they get into high school.
We talked about it earlier. There's winning and there's losing and there's gaining experience, and even something like an infield fly rule is a little bit of experience that the kids will pick up along the way.
This is the little Howard girl who's had 2 hits already.
Okay, so now we're at the top of the order, and we're
Yeah,
going to
she just got her third one.
Third hit, base hit right up the middle, drives in 1 run. They're going to try to send another runner home and score safely. She will. So 2 runs come across the plate on the base hit by Howard, and it's a 13-10 ball game now. Is that right?
Well, let's see here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 11.
13-11 ball game. I can count. Fairmount battling back here in the 4th inning with 1 out. They now have 4 runs on the plate and 2 runners on base at second and third base, and a ground ball down to third. Long throw over. Nice job. Loads, here comes the play home. Catcher's not looking, and 2 runs are going to score, and this ball game's tied up.
Well,
and as they say, it's never over till it's over, either in the score of the game or the play on the field, and some heads-up base running by Fairmount lets this game get tied up.
That was a nice play by the third baseman. That's a long throw for girls at this age.
That's Megan Lotes who made the throw over. Pop up to second baseman Jennifer Wyatt. Nice play by Jennifer. So they get the 3rd out, but Fairmount comes up big. They put 6 runs across and tie this one up 13 all after 4 innings of play. We'll be back.
Don't neglect your car's brakes. At Mufflers & More in Westfield, get complete brake system repair for American, import, even classic cars. shocks, struts, CV joints, and coil springs for domestic and imports are handled by the pros at Mufflers & More. See Scott, Dean, or Kirk for total exhaust system repair and replacement. If you can drive it, Mufflers & More has an exhaust system for it. Pickup and delivery are available, as are free estimates. While your car is in, get a Valvoline oil change. You'll find courteous, trained professionals at Mufflers & More in Westfield.
Top half of the 5th inning on tap. This girls 12 and under softball game from Morse Park and Beach. It's a state tournament that's taking place, and the winner of this age bracket will be advancing and representing the state of Indiana in a tournament in Illinois next weekend, possibly this weekend as we're watching the ball game actually. Unfortunately, we had to move this game back a few days because we've had the opportunity to cover the 4-H fair, the county fair, pretty extensively this week.
Whoa.
A little bit high. They have a new pitcher in there now.
Yeah, it looks like number 7's on the mound now. That would be Bridget Jones.
Bridget had been playing shortstop, and there's a little pop single into left center field. So Jennifer Wyatt leads it off for Westfield with a base hit here in the 5th inning. This ball game tied up at 13, and it looks like every time Westfield explodes and gets a little bit of a lead, that Fairmount squad just comes roaring back.
But to Westfield's credit, looks like they're going to come back themselves.
They haven't let their blown leads discourage them at all. They just keep coming up and hitting the baseball. This is Amanda Sexton, who's up now trying to do it, facing the second pitcher of the night for Fairmount. Throw down to second could be a play. Throws a little bit off, and Wyatt has a stolen base. Excuse me, I found myself watching the game on the other diamond for a minute, the 15-year-olds.
We were watching at the same time. That's not real good.
Ah, really? It might be enjoyable for the fans so they can watch it without listening. Inside.
A walk.
A walk. So Westfield with runners on first and second. Nobody down. And the big hitter for the Lady Shamrock squad from Westfield, Trish Fleming, stepping up to the plate.
Trish has had 2 singles already tonight and a walk, and scored all 3 times she's been up.
Called strike 1. Nobody down. Westfield with 2 on, trying to get the lead back again. And Trish Fleming hoping to drive in that go-ahead run right now. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Swing and a miss by Fleming, 1-2. Trish, I think, a little bit upset with herself. Stepped back and
thought she should have hit that
had
one.
a heart talk with herself.
The way the pitcher's throwing, when she throws a strike, you want to take advantage of. There she did.
Into right field. It's going to drop in safely. Everyone's going to be safe, and the runner's going to be sent home. Play at the plate, not in time. And Jennifer Wyatt crosses the plate safely. Westfield regains the lead on the base hit by Fleming. On the play, she ends up down at second base, and Amanda Sexton ends up over at third. So Westfield with 1 on the board, threatening to put more on here in the 5th inning.
Westfield's in pretty good shape here. This is Jessica Mulligan, who's already had 2 hits tonight also.
I was going to say, I remember her getting hit.
Yeah, last time she doubled.
She looks at the high one from the first delivery. That one, pitcher attempting to compensate, threw that one down low, 2-0. Jessica Mulligan at the plate. (3-0) now, so she's got an opportunity to look at a couple here before she has to unload, and right now should take a walk, I'm sure. She's going to get that walk. That's ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Westfield. Nobody down, and third baseman Megan Lotz coming up to the plate.
Megan's hit the ball every time tonight. Hasn't had one drop in yet, but has made contact every time.
And that was your turn to jinx him that time. Every time you make a comment, it's something just the opposite happens. Swing and a miss by Megan. Well, Dave, we talked about you moving up here from Indianapolis. You work down in the Indianapolis area?
Yeah, I've worked down in Indianapolis for about 23 years. I'm in the flower business, wholesale florist.
Oh, really?
Well, she did hit the ball. I told you she would.
She hit the ball to the shortstop, who promptly threw it away, trying to get the force out at third. And the Shamrocks pick up 2 more runs and go up 16-13. So do you work with florists around Indiana then?
Yeah, I travel around a little bit, do some sales, visit different flower shops around the state. I won't plug any of them in Noblesville, but there are some good flower shops in Noblesville that the folks are all fine people, and everyone rush out and buy some flowers.
Yeah. Doesn't matter which one you buy them from, because Dave's going to make the money off them indirectly somewhere.
That's the idea.
I could probably sit here and do an interview with you about this, because I'm curious where you get your flowers from.
Well, actually, we're supplies. We don't do anything with fresh flowers. We sell ribbons and
okay.
dried flowers and baskets, and but no perishable goods.
Oh, okay.
But off camera, we'll talk about that, and I can tell you where they come from.
Okay, sounds good. And for all of you listening, you just won't be able to know about it.
Yeah. Another walk.
Another walk. Once again, the bases are loaded for Westfield.
I really wonder what we're saving our pitcher for.
Yeah, we commented earlier about that Walker kid from Fairmount, that she's a good athlete. We've seen that. She's a great pitcher, we understand. And I don't know how many times they can allow Westfield to get ahead and hope to come back. Right now, from a Westfield standpoint, it's working out great. They put another run on the board, and I have to tell you, I've totally lost track now.
Well, Westfield's picked up 4 runs so far this inning without an out, so they're up 17-13.
All right, and they have 2 runners on board. Right now, down at second base is Natalie Beck, who drew a walk. Megan Lotz is over at third base, and Tabitha Huffman is up at the plate. Yeah, a little bit low. I hear the coach from Fairmount talking about leaving early. Of course, the runners can't leave until the pitch is thrown, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, when the ball leaves the pitcher's hand, then the runner can leave the base.
See, actually, I had gone and been sanctioned, ASA sanctioned at one point in time.
Now we know who to call umpire when we need one.
I'm no longer sanctioned since I did not renew my sanctioning and stay with it. I'll tell you what, you call me to come and showcase any of the kids anytime you want, but I'll leave the umping to the other people now.
I think we're getting our pitching change.
This could be it. It's 17-13. Westfield is on top of the team from Fairmount.
Yes.
And they are going to bring in, I think her name is Lindsay Walker. We've talked about her and what a good pitcher she is. It looks like she's taking the catcher's gear off, where she went in an inning or so ago to do the catching. So she'll be coming on to pitch for Fairmount. We're going to take a quick time out here, let you hear from some of the great sponsors who help bring you this type of coverage in Hamilton County, and we'll be right back.
We'd like you to join us at Waite's Country Store at the corner of 31 and 32 in Westfield. We have quality pet foods and supplies, low down country prices, and good old Hoosier hospitality. Waite's Country Store has dog foods, cat foods, wild bird foods, and feeders. We even have game bird foods and horse feed. Waite's is proud to be Hamilton County's only master mix dealer, a sign of quality. So come on into Waite's Country Store, just west of the Dairy Queen in Westfield. The public is welcome, and we'll even put your purchases in the car for you. Wait no longer. Come to Waite's today.
We're back here. It's the 5th inning of play. Westfield has put 4 runs on the board. They have the bases loaded with nobody out. Fairmount has made a pitching change, bringing in their ace in I'm sure right away you can see the difference in the speed as Lindsay Walker now throwing. This is the girl we've been talking about who probably throws about as hard as anybody in this tournament, maybe even up to the under 15-year-olds.
Yeah, she throws as hard as anybody, including the older girls.
So the question will be is how accurate is she, because she will be tough for these younger girls to hit. Right now she's taken the count to 2-1 to the first batter she's facing.
Yeah, Jessica Thornberry gets to be the honor of facing her first.
Called strike, and the count 2-2, and we were talking before we came back on. Maybe the best strategy is just let this girl throw the ball and walk you or strike you out, because hitting is going to be tough. But you don't want to do that, and
Sure
Jessica
enough.
certainly didn't want to. She went up there and took a cut. She missed it, so she goes down for the first out of the inning. And we're going to have all the lineup changes as the hardest working person here tonight, Patty, runs them back out to us. Oh, you're not even Patty. I glanced down and saw somebody running. Okay, who are you? Michelle? Well, thank you, Michelle. We appreciate you bringing this out.
Yeah, we had a wild pitch while we were away there. They scored another one.
Well, we'll take them any way we can.
Mm-hmm.
Callahan is back in for Steinmetz, by the way, Dave.
Yeah, we'll.
And of course, we know there have been other changes, but I think it's mostly positional changes for Fairmount. So Michelle this time hard working, bringing out the changes for us, and these girls are doing a great job for us, because as you can tell, folks, we're out here in center field with the same view you have, only you're a little bit tighter. Another wild pitch and another Westfield run. So the lead now goes up 19-13. Is that right? Okay, 19-13.
Up.
And another one's going to come in as Fairmount throwing the ball all over the field. Lets Westfield clear the bases without the sake of a hit or a walk or anything else, and they'll take them that way.
They got 2 runs on that one wild pitch. They're a little careless throwing the ball back to the pitcher, and
That's might as well get them that way.
oh yes.
As long as they come across that home plate, you don't care how they come across.
This is what we were talking about earlier. There's just no defense for walks, and if you're lucky enough to be the team that's getting walked, you can score a lot of runs.
20-13 now, and this is Heather Burdett, the leadoff hitter for Westfield.
For who?
For Westfield? Okay. You guys are getting worn out, aren't you? Well, you're doing a great job. Thank you. Heather Burdett makes it down to first base, and I looked away. And
I did too. I didn't see what the call was. I don't know that it was a walk. It might have been.
okay, she swung, so she it was a drop third strike.
Oh, the drop third strike.
Oh, the umpire awarded her the base. Okay, well, any way you look at it, Heather Burdett is down at first base, and Jennifer Wyatt is up at the plate. And Heather is now safely at second base, having a stolen base. And now Heather will get over to third base. So Walker throws hard. The question is her accuracy. And again, as we were talking about, she had moved from third base behind the plate. And that's got to wear on both her arm and her legs, working the catching position.
Well, the other thing, I talked with the young lady's mother last night, trying to find out how she learned to throw so hard. And believe it or not, she's only been pitching since last fall. So she's not a polished pitcher by any means. And it's something that's hard to learn. So she's got a ways to go yet.
And right now, Burdett comes around to score the 21st run of the night for Westfield. They've put 8 runs on the board this inning after Fairmount had come back and put 6 on to tie the game in the bottom half of the 4th. So this game going back and forth with big run innings on both sides. This is Amanda Sexton up at the plate with 2 down now for Westfield. She walked Sexton, so Amanda down at first base with 2 away. And Trish Fleming stepping up to the plate for Westfield. (21-13) score. We're in the top half of the 5th inning.
We're approaching the point where that if Westfield could push across 2 more runs, this game would be over. The 10-run rule.
Of course, I do believe Fairmount would have the opportunity to bat in the bottom half of the 5th.
If Fairmount would not score again.
Trish Fleming trying to get it going with 2 outs. Takes the cut and goes down swinging, so Walker comes in and does her job, although Westfield scored a couple runs with her on the mound after she was a little bit wild. Westfield picks up 8 runs in the inning. They're on top 21-13 after 4.5, and they will be going out defensively when we come back.
For generations, Honda Power Equipment has been known for its quality, reliability, and value. Whether it's a Honda lawn tractor, riding mower, gas generator, or tiller, Honda gets the job done right. Lewis Brothers Lawn Equipment and Tool Rental is your Honda source in Fishers. For 22 years, they've staked their reputation on Honda quality. With the spring fix-up season upon us, turn to Honda Power Equipment to help. Monday through Saturday, see Lewis Brothers Lawn Equipment and Tool Rental in Fishers to buy or rent fine Honda products.
Well, as we enter the bottom half of the 5th inning, a couple changes have been made by Westfield. The primary one, I guess, at this point in time is that number 1, Natalie Beck, is now in pitching for the Westfield team. Amanda Sexton, who had pitched the first 4 innings, is out in left field. And Dave, as we were discussing, she's probably reached, you can only throw 7 innings in 2 consecutive games, and you think she threw in the first yesterday.
Yeah, I believe in the game I scored last night that she threw 3 innings last night, so she's probably out of innings, couldn't throw any more tonight.
Okay, so Natalie Beck has come in from shortstop to the mound, and Tabitha Huffman has come in from center field to shortstop. Jessica Mulligan is now in center field. We'll try to pick up the rest of it. It looks like everybody else has pretty much stayed where they were. Okay, thanks.
Starting out with a walk, although maybe not bad strategy to walk that particular batter.
Was that Walker?
Yes, it was.
Okay. The Shamrocks, or the Westfield squad, I keep calling them that, and I guess we've agreed that it's all right to do that, have an 8-run lead here as we enter the 5th inning of play. They're looking for Natalie Beck to throw some strikes and let the defense do the job so they can put Fairmount out and maintain that lead if they can through the course of the ball game. 2-hour time limit, throw down to third. They got a shot at her, ball dropped at third by Lotz, and Walker's in safely. They might have had her.
I think she was out if they had hung onto the ball. I think Westfield's at the point in the game now that if the pitchers will throw strikes, they can win the game.
They've proven they can play defensively.
Yeah,
I mean, they make the plays defensively well.
Well, we'll find out here.
And that's toss across. A nice stop by Burdett. The throw was a little bit short and low by Huffman, but remembering now Tabitha had been out in center field, so that was her first attempt at shortstop. And it's a whole different ball game throwing from shortstop than from center field.
It is, yeah. I think maybe there, if we'd have charged the ball, we'd had a little better opportunity, but sometimes it's hard to get the girls to come in and grab those grounders a little quicker.
So a run comes across the plate for Fairmount. They cut the lead down again, as they have done twice so far in the ball game. Still a 7-run lead for Westfield, 21-14 the score. Nobody out, runner on first for Fairmount. Another stolen base as the runner safely reaches second base.
if I could get in a few last plugs here for the people that have helped us out here in the tournament this year. Carl Lowry, the commissioner of Babe Ruth baseball for softball in the state of Indiana, has again done a fine job running this tournament. We appreciate all of Carl's efforts to help us put this tournament on. Also, some of the members of the board of our Noblesville Girls Association, Joe Lehman, the president, who's done a fine job running our operation this year. Some of the girls who've helped take tickets, Kim Ambler, Gary's wife, has sit out here in the hot sun and taken tickets, along with Brenda Lehman, Joe's wife. Both have given of their time unselfishly. Oh, error.
The wild throw across lets runners go second, third. They're going to have a play at the plate. Heads up play by Burdett. She threw it to Huffman, and they got the tag on the plate as the Fairmount girl tried to score. So defensively, Westfield just doing the job. They keep the ball in play. Lotz's throw was wild, but it actually turned out to be pretty good as Burdett. I'm very, very impressed with Heather Burdett at first base. Yeah. She has been alert through this whole game and just not letting anybody advance when she has the ball.
She seems to have a strong arm, can make those throws, and you know, being down by 7 runs, you sort of question whether or not the Fairmount coach should have gambled, but he tried and it didn't work out.
So a good break for the Westfield squad, thanks to some outstanding play by Burnett, and then Fleming did a nice job blocking the plate. That girl wasn't going to get in there.
That was a big-time play right there. Other people I might thank, during the regular season out at Forest Park, we don't have a concession stand as such, being back where we are, and Diane Lowe, who is the mother-in-law of Joe and Brenda's mother, Joe Lehman, ran the concession stand for us all year long. Out of the back of her station wagon, would bring Pop out. Actually brought a gas grill to cook hot dogs every night of the week.
Wow.
For 2 months, and she helped us immensely. The profit we make off the concession stand, without that, we would probably go under. So Diane did us a really, really wonderful job this year.
Every day for 2 months.
Yeah, it was. We had games every night during the week, and usually on Saturday and Sunday also, and she was there for every game.
That's impressive.
It was really a job well done. Well, we had a strikeout. Westfield's looking good here.
So Natalie Beck strikes out the Fairmount hitter for the second out of the inning. And Westfield holding strong now. They have a 7-run lead. These are 7-inning games, right?
They are,
at this
yes.
age level? Okay, or 2 hours, whichever comes first. Toss over to first won't be in time to get the speedy runner.
But they're going to challenge the first baseman again.
Yeah, that Westfield, I'm sure, almost hopes they do that because Burdett will gun them down.
I think the coach learns his lesson.
First and third, the runners now for Fairmount with 2 down, bottom half of the 5th inning. Natalie Beck now on the mound for Westfield.
Sounds exciting over in the other diamond.
Yeah. There's been a lot of outstanding play throughout this tournament from every age group. I know I was talking to Gary Ambler earlier, and again, I got to thank Gary for giving us the call and inviting us to come out and do the game. We certainly appreciate it. Wish we could have done a lot more of them. Unfortunately, we just don't have the airtime to get them on, but the opportunity to showcase the tournament is important too, and we're glad to be able to do that. I was talking to Gary, he just said, you know, good play, consistent play throughout this tournament. I know you saw that as a coach in the tournament.
Yeah, there's a lot of quality softball players around, and what we're hoping to do is to get more and more of the good athletes involved in softball. That's how we'll build the program, and hopefully that we can help here in Noblesville with the high school program. If we can develop the girls at a younger age, maybe in the long run it'll help our high school program.
That's what we talked about earlier. There's winning and there's losing, and these games certainly are all about that. There's also about learning the game, and that all transfers as the girls grow up into making more quality programs.
Yes.
Noblesville baseball program is a fine example of that. The outstanding head coach, Denny Cass, for the high school, truly one of the finest baseball coaches in the state, and he's worked with the other organizations. They've got quite a feeder program now. Well, Natalie Beck, I have to say, did the job. She came in, she had a couple walks, but she threw the ball over the plate, and she forced a lot of things to happen on the field. She got the put out there for the 3rd out in the inning, and I think she slipped and fell down running into the dugout. And we'll check on that when we come back. But right now, Natalie did a super job on the mound. It's 21-14. Westfield on top. We'll be back.
Noblesville Lawn and Garden on South 10th Street stands for quality products and reliable service. If you're shopping for flowers, trees, or shrubs, Noblesville Lawn and Garden is the place to stop. If advice is needed for lawn or any planting, see the experts at Noblesville Lawn and Garden. They carry products and plants especially suited to our area. While there, don't forget your pets. They carry Imes, Science Diet, and Big Red. The Noblesville Lawn and Garden on South 10th Street is a division of Hamilton County Co-op and is open to the public.
We are moving to the top half of the 6th inning in this girls 12 and under semifinal tournament game from Morse Park and Beach. It's the Babe Ruth State Tournament, hosted quite well, I might say, by the Noblesville people. And that is the leadoff batter for Westfield, who's on safely with the after the ground ball down to 3rd base. Fairmount has made another pitching change, which may be good news for Westfield because they took that Walker girl out.
Could be, although she was having a hard time finding the plate, so. Looks like we've got Jennifer Smith now pitching for them. A little
Up high and a stolen base, maybe, yes.
A little difference in the velocity of the two pitchers.
Quite a bit. That's Jessica Mulligan, who had put the ball in play and managed to get on base safely. She's now down to 2nd base. Megan Lotes up at the plate for Westfield, and Westfield looking good right now with a 7-run lead here in the 6th inning. And Natalie Beck did a nice job.
She did. Come in and threw strikes, and they made the plays. And we hope she didn't get hurt on the little incident leaving the field.
Yeah, we were talking about that as we left for the break. It looks like she slipped and fell, or maybe got her feet tangled up. As the Westfield people were leaving, the Westfield team was leaving the field, but she did manage to get back up after a couple minutes, and she looks like she was helped off a little bit, but I think she's going to be okay.
Our stat crew's coming here with some changes for us, so.
I'll tell you what, this crew's growing all the time. There's 3 of them now running out. Swinging at the high one, following it back into the crowd. Okay. Geez, look at this. There's more and more of you coming all the time. You look like you're getting tired. Melissa and Heather, well, thanks for coming out and joining us. See you guys. Well, Gary Ambler promised that he'd make sure we were notified of the changes, but I have a funny feeling there's going to be a couple girls who are going to talk to him about that promise later on. Pop up down to 2nd base by Lotes, the 1st out in the inning. We're in the 6th inning of play. It's Fairmount changes that we've noted. Smith in on the mound. On the other diamond, the game is over. The 15 and under game, and I know that's of interest to you because that's where you were coaching for the Noblesville
It is,
squad.
And since they're presenting trophies, the Fairmount team had to have won because they were coming out of the winner's bracket.
Natalie Beck, who does appear to be okay, Dave, after that slip that she had, just popped out to 2nd base for the 2nd out in the inning. 2 down now with Jessica Mulligan at 2nd base and Tabitha Huffman up at the plate.
Well, having played both those teams on the older diamond, I was pretty confident that Fairmount would win. They had a really fine all-around team.
And our, of course, congratulations goes out to them, although they'll never know we congratulate them because we don't go to Fairmount with our telecast. But
cable, I mean the dish, the satellite dish, yeah, satellite dish.
We'll beam that up to them.
Maybe as a fundraiser, we could sell copies of the broadcast.
There you go. Pass ball on ball 4 puts a runner at 3rd and a runner at 1st for Westfield, trying to expand their lead And Jessica Thornberry is going to come up and try to drive home one for Westfield. Swing and a miss and a stolen base down here. They're going to call catcher interference, I believe. They're awarding Thornberry first base. And since she swung at the ball, I would have to guess that there was catcher interference.
I don't know what else it could have been. Bases loaded at Westfield. If they could get across these runs and hold them,
well, and the key here is that you're back to the top of the batting order
Yes.
now. Heather Burdett, and you were talking
Right.
earlier, she's got, what, at least 2 hits tonight.
Heather's been on, well, she's been on 3 times. She walked all 3 times. She's, they haven't thrown her much to hit.
Well, she has proven that she's found a way to get on base. A walk now is as good as a hit. It's going to give her an
Sure
RBI and bring a run home. A base hit here, drive in a couple, could be really a big plus, but again, she's not getting a lot to swing at. She's up ahead in the count 2-0.
Ooh.
Took a cut at that one for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The Westfield team on top, 21-14 here in the 6th inning, and with a hit here could really expand that lead out. Now the count goes through and 3-1, throw down to third base. Three balls and 1 strike, so Burdett can be picky here. A walk will drive in a run, and they're going to see that happen right there.
Never a doubt on that one.
Ball 4, Burdett goes to first. The run comes across the plate. The Shamrocks back to the 8-run lead, 22-14. And Jennifer Wyatt steps up to the plate.
Jennifer's had 1 hit tonight.
She takes a look at the first pitch for ball 1. Play at the plate, sliding in safely. Westfield puts another one on the board. And now with a 9-run lead, 23-14, and as Dave commented on a few minutes ago, there is a 10-run rule in the ball game. So if Westfield can punch one more across and then shut Fairmount out, they'd win the ball game.
That's correct.
And even if they don't shut them out, in case they do that, the more runs they get, the happier they're going to be either way. First base now open with runners at second and third after the wild pitch. Called strike. I think he called that last pitch a strike 2, or started to. 2-2 the count.
I couldn't see.
2-2. That must have been 2-2 because she's still batting now. So it's a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Westfield on top, 23-14 here in the 6th inning. Ground ball down to short. Toss over to first. Won't be
She
in time.
beat it out.
And a run will cross the plate. That is that 10th run that they needed for the 10-run lead. 24-14. Westfield now on top. Excellent hustle by Jennifer Wyatt coming out of the left-handed batter's box. Certainly helped her get down there. She's safe. Fairmount coach talking it over with his catcher. I suspect they're discussing what they're going to do if Wyatt tries to steal with first and third situation.
I don't think that they can throw her out if she steals.
She's pretty quick.
Yeah,
She's
I
pretty
just
quick.
think she's too fast. Plus, it's I haven't really seen the arm from the catcher to throw a runner out.
This is Amanda Sexton. They're going
It's a
to
trick play.
Cut-off
And
play.
it didn't work.
It didn't work, although they did execute it. It didn't work, and the Westfield Shamrocks, or Westfield ladies, pick up another run and now have an 11-run lead with Jennifer Wyatt camped now on third base. So they tried to do a cutoff play.
It's a play a lot of teams try, but you never see it succeed, I don't think.
Very tough to execute it, especially if the runner on third gets a good jump.
Yes.
called strike on Sexton. Westfield increasing their lead. They have an 11-run lead.
I think so.
25-14.
Yes. That's all very unofficial, though.
But fairly close, we're sure of that.
Okay, there's the third out.
All right, so the bounce out and the put out 1-3 ends the Shamrock or the Westfield 6th inning. They put some more on the board, some big insurance runs. They have a 25-14 lead. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th.
Hi folks, welcome to Hare Chevrolet Oldsmobile. Basketball's in full swing, and so are we. For starters, a 93 Chevrolet Cavalier. You'll flip over our low prices, and your down payment is just a drop in the bucket. $500 down and your payments of $149 are as easy as a smooth dribble. At the center of attention is the new 93 Olds Cutlass Supreme. Save over $3,000. Shoot, we got the best deals in town. What a place!
It's the bottom half of the 6th inning as that ball rolls
Foul
down
ball.
the third baseline. I was looking for an umpire to make a call. We are in the bottom half of the 6th inning, as I started to say. Westfield has an 11-run lead, so if they manage to shut out Fairmount or not allow more than 1 run to score, they will win the ball game right here in the 6th inning. Natalie Beck, who came on in the 5th inning, has thrown 2 pitches in the inning, 2 strikes, and that's got to be encouraging for all the Westfield fans to see. She threw another one there too and has a chance. Going to be a
Fast
close
runner.
play. That's safe. That was a tough play. Beck came back to get the ball, and as it popped down, Wyatt came in, and it just got over Beck's gloves. So runner on with nobody down. Thank you. Another Fairmount substitution as they bring one of their starters back into the ball game.
Gonna play it second.
Throw down, safe, slides in underneath the tag, but that was a nice play. Fleming made a nice throw down.
That's a nice throw.
Runner now at second base with nobody down. Of course, talking about Westfield holding on here, which we must point out that that runner at second base is the leadoff batter for Fairmount. So they're at the top of their batting order here as they try to mount a comeback.
That's one of those easy pop-ups.
Got to be caught. It was. Huffman makes the catch. Tabitha, who came in from center field, put it away. 1 out.
Now this girl, every time up is at second base, so we'll see if she can do it again.
She hits that one back to the mound, over to first. 2 down. Runner on third. Westfield with an 11-run lead. They're not going to test Burdett, I don't think, in this instance.
You wouldn't think so.
So 2 away. Westfield 1 out away from clinching this one. And even if Fairmount does come back and Westfield can hold on, they'll go into the 7th with a big lead. But right now, they're looking for the 3rd and the final out here in the 6th inning. And what would be the final out of the ballgame if they can get it? It's a fly ball deep to center field. That's the farthest ball we've seen hit so far. 1 run has scored.
Oh, she can run.
They got to get the ball back in and stop her from scoring. She's going home.
Oh.
She's going to score as the ball goes wild. 2 runs come across the plate, and we're going to go to the 7th inning with this one. Who was that? Is that Walker?
Yes, it was.
Lindsay Walker, the talented athlete from Fairmount we've been talking about tonight, did what she had to do as the cleanup hitter. Drove one to deep center field, drove in a run, and came all the way around to score herself inside the park home run. The lead cut back down to 9. That's one of those things, if Fairmount does manage to come back, one of those plays everybody remembers forever. Down to third, over to first,
Nice
got
play.
the out.
Just 1 batter too late.
1 batter too late, as Dave says, is exactly right. Fairmount managed to keep it alive, according to our book, and it does look like that's true. I think
Yep, they're going back
everybody's-
to the field.
Okay,
Okay.
they're going back to the field. So it's 23-14.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, that's the way it stands. No, wait a minute.
No, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
No, I had it as 25-16, but I must have missed a run.
25-16, okay. We can't keep track of it ourselves out here, but I'll tell you what. whatever it is,
Could
the
be.
ball game is over. The official scorer has stepped in and said that there is a 10-run lead, the Westfield Shamrocks. I keep calling them that. I'm not sure if that's accurate even now, but nonetheless, the Westfield team, you know what it may be? We're at the 2-hour time limit.
That could be. That could very well be.
It's 10:03 on our clock. The game started at 8. Thank you, mate. So I think we're at the 2-hour time limit is why it's over. Westfield wins. They will advance to play in the championship flight tomorrow night. I think they have to win 2 to win the championship.
They do,
but
yes.
Our congratulations to them. Dave, we're going to wrap it up quickly because we're running out of tape. I want to thank you for sitting in here and helping out tonight. It's been a pleasure to get the insight from somebody involved in the tournament. And I want to congratulate you for your play of your team, and everybody here from the Noblesville Girls Softball Association put out a great tournament.
Steve, we'd like to thank you for coming out and hosting this telecast for us. And anytime you want to come out and do a regular season game, we'd love to have you. And to all you folks out there in TV land, if you're interested in having your daughter playing a real competitive league next year, come see us. We'd love to have them.
And I'm sure that invitation would come from the other parts of the county as well.
I'm
if
sure
you're
it
watching
would.
from Heights or Fishers or Westfield, Arcadia. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. And Gary, thanks for inviting us. We had a great time. Westfield, congratulations. And everybody, we'll see you later.